What's up, ladies and gents? CenterStrain01, your host. Welcome to my comprehensive walkthrough for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater HD Edition, played on the Xbox 360 on European Extreme while achieving the rank of Foxhound, which is the toughest rank to get. Now, in order to do this, you do need to skip the cutscenes, but I am going to be showing you cutscenes in this gameplay, but all you got to do is skip them, and you'll get the same results, hopefully, that I do. I will mix in the cutscenes. If you want to see a strictly gameplay video, I will have that up after the walkthrough is complete, for those of you that want to skip all the cutscenes and don't really care too much about the story. So this is the first game of 2018. Thank you guys for getting me here. I know it's been a long time since I've said that I was going to do this game on this difficulty setting. I have another walkthrough of this game on very easy from way back in 2011 and 12 when I really wasn't paying too much attention to achieving the highest standards possible. But now we are back, and we're ready to make 2018 as strong as ever. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, CenterStrain01, to stay up to date with all the latest news on gaming in general, as well as what's going on with the channel. Thank you to the patrons out there that make it possible for me to have the best quality gameplay on YouTube. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I like Metal Gear Solid 1, and we're going to be doing this on European Extreme, which means that if we do get caught, it is a game over, which makes it easier for everyone out there. That way you know if you've been caught or not, and then you just start back. We will be saving every now and then. This is not a speed run, but this is going to be kind of the noobish approach out of how to achieve this ranking. Meaning when I go through each and every single section, I will explain it to you as if this is your first time playing, but also I will be using less distractions and more about finding ways around the enemies as opposed to using things like throwing magazines or knocking out soldiers. I want to limit the amount of soldiers I knock out. That is always the goal for this channel, is to have the least amount of interaction with the enemy as possible. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Let me know what your favorite Metal Gear Solid game is in the comments below. Mine is, of course, still Metal Gear Solid 3 when it comes to story, but Metal Gear Solid 5 when it comes to gameplay. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy, and it's go time.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Finally, we got some gameplay coming up here. First things first is we need to grab our backpack. Now, I'm playing the Subsistence version, so this is the HD collection, which is the third-person view. Again, if you just click the right thumbstick in, you'll be able to switch out to the other view that was originally in Snake Eater, but I prefer the third-person view as it's way more immersive. I will be using the other view sometimes when I need to see specifically where enemies are in any given location. Remember that if you want to achieve this ranking, you're going to need to skip those cutscenes as well as the codec conversations. So just because you see them in this video does not mean that I am actually letting them play. It is a separate video recording that I did of the actual cutscenes. So you might notice that Snake might be in different clothes. I'll try to keep it the same as I can, as we're not going to be switching a lot of outfits. Sometimes we will be, but I want to make this as noobish as possible for those of you out there that are still having trouble with some of the actions in the game. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and you will be able to achieve the rank that we are going for here. First real gameplay is up ahead in the next section, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So what I like to do for this first section here is to run up against this tree. This is a surefire way to be able to pass this section without ever having to worry about being caught. So yes, there are other things that we could do. We could go up, we can knock enemy soldiers out, we can take them out with our weapons and whatnot. We're not going to do that. We're going to try to get around the enemies as much as we can. Some enemies we will be taking out via weapons, but it's all going to be non-lethal, of course. But I want to give you guys that noobish approach, and that's the last time that I'm going to be saying that to make it a lot easier for you guys to understand why and what I'm doing and the methods that I'm doing. So once he passes, use your stalking, which is the D-pad. Wait till you have a little bit of time, so that way he doesn't hear your footsteps. And we're going to be moving to the right. You'll see there's an enemy ahead. There's going to be two enemies up ahead as well. One is going to be right here. You'll just be able to see him, but he'll be out of reach. Don't worry too much about him. Here, you're going to wait for this guy to turn around. As soon as he does, go ahead and move, and then head towards his direction. Once you get about this close, go ahead and start your stalking. And you should be easily able to get by all 4 of these enemies. Do not start running, of course, until you're enough distance to feel safe and comfortable without him turning around. Here, you want to go ahead and get at your weapon. You can just barely see it. Shoot down the bee's nest. Follow him, but not too close because you don't want the other guards to see you. Give him a little bit of time. Wait till he goes off. Alright, once they're all moving, try to stick as close to the middle as you can because you can fall off sometimes. And just keep running. You'll have a free and clear path to your objective. And there's nothing that we need down here. Again, this is the very simplistic approach, but it works pretty much every single time without any problems. So you want this guy to see a little bit, but then hurry up and move out of the way. Get up against the tree. Just wait for him to pass.
Who was that?
Once he says, "Who is that?" that's when you want to start moving. Once he says, "Nobody here," walk a little bit, and then you're good to go. Get up, and you're free to run. Hopefully you'll be able to complete that your first time, and we should be able to move on. Now that we have gained control, this part is very, very simple and easy. All you have to do is head back towards where you came from, and we have pretty much completed Operation, or Virtuous Mission, which is the very, very first section of this walkthrough. Here, you're going to want to go into your backpack, or should I say go into the start menu, and then cure option, and you have a bunch of things that you need to do. Now, I never really pay too much attention to what you need to do, but as you can see, there's just a bunch of things that you can do. Just click them all until it works. Again, this is the noobish approach. And last one. Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'm your host, CenterStrain01. This is part 2 of our Metal Gear Solid 3 walkthrough. Hopefully you enjoyed part 1. Don't forget to leave that a like as well as this one as well, as these videos are not easy to make and it does take some time. What we're going to be doing in this video particularly is heading all the way to the Ocelot battle. Not Ocelot battle himself, but the Ocelot Unit battle. And the reason that the gameplay is so little is because the cutscenes take up a lot of the time. But again, I will have a separate video showing you all the cutscenes. Should I say showing you all of the gameplay without the cutscenes, to make it a little easier for you. Here we're going to have a cutscene, and I'll show you the easiest way to get through this next section. In order to skip the caution, you're going to want to immediately turn around and go backwards. Doing so means that the enemies will not run forward to do the caution, which makes it a lot tougher for you to get through the next two sections. So this way it actually prefers, or it allows you to be a lot stealthier, and you don't have to worry about as many enemies. So just go right back to where you were, and now everything has been kind of reset. So you no longer have to worry about those enemies in the caution meter. And you can get through this next section pretty easy. It's not too difficult to get through that section without doing that, but it does require a caution unless you take enemy soldiers out, and we don't want to do that. Here I'm going to switch to my stun grenade. If you actually equip it and act like you're going to use it, it will allow you to be very, very stealthy. They won't hear your footsteps, but you can get by that guard if you just work your way around him here. Here, just go slow. Wait till he gets a little bit of distance. As you can see, you do not have to use it. But know that if you were to press the X button, your footsteps are silent. But we're not going to do that if we don't have to. It's just there in case you need it, in case you want another easier way. But it's pretty easy still to get by those guys. Here, what you're going to want to do is move up. Don't go too far. It's better to switch your cameras here. There you go. Once he's seen you, Then you can slide down. And you should be able to make it all the way across. Very, very easy method to do. You should be able to get it your first time. Just don't go too far up, so that the guard on the right sees you instead of the guard on the left, and you should be good to go. If you keep moving forward, you won't have to worry about any guard seeing you here, and you have pretty much completed this section all the way up until the Ocelot group battle. Very, very easy, straightforward. Should be able to get it your first or second time. And as you can see, we really haven't changed any camo, done anything in particular that stands out to be too difficult or something you'd have to try multiple times. That is the goal of this walkthrough, is to hopefully help you complete this in this most passable state with the least amount of times that it would take you. Sorry about that right there. We're going to head up here and we're going to grab this weapon. It's not like we're really going to be using any of these types of weapons, but they do come in handy a little bit later on. Also pick up some smoke grenades. Those are a good thing to come in handy as well. Need to climb up here and grab cardboard box. This will definitely come in handy. And we're pretty much ready to start the Ocelot group battle. But first you want to go over here, open up the locker, and grab the thermal goggles, as they'll come in handy a little bit later. So enjoy the cutscene, guys, and it is now time to do the Ocelot battle, which will be the final part of this video. First things first is we're going to go into our backpack, get out our Mark 22. We're going to switch over to stun grenades, and we're going to take out the first 4 enemies rather quickly. Go to this back right corner, look straight up. Wait till they get all settled in. Move! Usually right before he says move is when you want to do it. Switch back over to your Mark 22. You should knock 3 of those guys out. Immediately jump and knock out the 4th. Hurry over to this corner here. Alright, that guy should be taken out. Now, the next thing you want to do is stay right where you are. There's going to be the same guy who's going to kind of backpedal his way towards you. Gives yourself pretty much a free headshot. There you go. Move up, but not too close. You want to be able to see him there. That way you can get an eye on him. He can't see you because of the way that we're doing this. Nice. Now this guy can be a little difficult sometimes. There he is. You got to get the right angle. As you can see, we're not at the right angle. There we go. Perfect. Alright, that leaves 1 enemy left. He's going to be pretty easy to take out. Again, it's all about getting the right angles. And there you go. Go ahead and go back a little bit because we do need to pick up some extra items here. So what we're going to do is shake a few of these guys and see if we can grab some suppressor ammo. There we go. And we are good to go, guys. Congratulations. You completed that pretty easily, and hopefully it didn't take you too long to finally get it. It can be a little tricky, though. It's definitely a little bit of a tougher strategy to pull off. But once you actually achieve it, You're gonna love yourself. What's up, ladies and gents? CenterStrain01, your host. Welcome back to more Metal Gear Solid 3 HD walkthrough, Foxhound run on European Extreme. We just got done with the Grad boss battle from the Ocelot Unit, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next section, which is the swampy area. There are actually a few gameplay sections that we need to stealth our way through. Now, my guide with this walkthrough has always been limit the amount of times I interact with the enemies, so if I don't have to knock them out, if I don't have to distract them by throwing something or anything like that, then that is my main goal in this. So here you're going to see two crocodiles. You're going to go ahead and jump in between them. You're also going to hear a small audible click coming up as soon as we enter the water. Once you hear that audible click, you want to go into your cure menu and burn the leeches. You just heard the click right there, so that means we need to go into our cure menu and we can go ahead and burn the leeches with our cigar. This is going to limit the amount of stamina deduction that we actually have. That way we have more stamina, which is going to help us in the end. We do have some animals and stuff that we took out a little bit earlier in the beginning of Operation Snake Eater to make sure that when stamina gets too low that we can replenish a little bit. But again, once you hear that audible click, go ahead and go into your cure menu. You should be good to go. Also, keep an eye out on your stamina. If you see it drastically going down, that means something is wrong and you can use that to your advantage. Here I'm going to show you what I do in the walkthrough is we skip all the cutscenes and all that stuff. This is a codec conversation, but it is not really necessary to anything that you would need to know if this is your first time watching the game. There's a trapdoor right there to the left, as you can see, so make sure you stay clear of that. Now, I always try to find my own unique ways of going through these sections, and again, I want to do it as if you were going through these sections for the first time. So what you see here, and the game for some reason always slows down in this section a little bit, we're going to get down here. We can actually crawl through. There are a bunch of claymore mines set up, but if you go the route that I do, you never have to worry about a single one of them. Stick to the right side here, you'll see the claymore right there, but if you're on the right, you don't have to worry about it. There's also a trap right there that you can get around if you just go the route that I do. Go ahead and climb this tree. We're going to take about 2 steps forward, and then we're going to press forward on our thumb pad, which is going to allow us to jump over to the other side. You don't have to worry about the 2 dogs and the other guard that is in this area. You can easily get by them if you are quick enough. This section is a little bit tougher. You're going to be seen just slightly, but it's not enough to actually cause any problem. Jump through this little thing here, immediately get down, and start crawling your way over to the left side here. As you can see, we haven't been seen by anybody just yet until there. But again, if you can get behind the cover before he actually sees you, then he will not come and investigate. Now, the only thing that we're doing is waiting here for this guard to turn around. Once he turns around, give it a few seconds. As you can see, the patterns of the 2 guards in the background will continually look left and right. And as you can see, they're staggered, so one is always looking left, one is always looking right. Wait until this guard here is passed beyond the point that he would see you crawling, and you should be able to make it and get over to here before that guy will actually perceive you enough to start walking over. Now, again, this is the slower route to do it. I've done it many ways where it's a lot faster, but you're taking things out, you're knocking things out here. Here, we're not going to worry about knocking anything out. It is straight up pure stealth. We're going to keep crawling all the way until we get over here. The dog is going to follow a natural path. That path is going to lead him to the right. So if you just stick to the left here and wait for a very, very short period of time, you'll be able to get by this dog without having to worry about any enemies. Now, at this point, you can go ahead and get up and start running. A guard might perceive you, but you'll be past the area of where he'll be able to call an alert, and we can move on to Bolshoye past base. Now, my strategy here is I want to get as many stun grenades as I can. So we're going to immediately move over to the right. Again, this is my strategy for not knocking anyone out or messing with anybody. He will perceive you, but you will be far enough away and you have a high enough camo index with Tiger Stripe that you don't have to worry. You do need to run through this section if you want your timing to be perfect. So as you can see, this guard is going to turn around. He's going to start manning the turret. So if you get over here immediately, when you get close enough, go into your stock mode. As you can see, he will not see you in your peripheral vision. Now keep going over to the right. As soon as you hear him talk, that is when you want to go ahead and start running. You'll be perceived by a guy that is inside the warehouse, but he's inside. No chance of you actually getting caught by him. So we're going to move over to this far right side to bypass pretty much everybody. This is going to allow us to go ahead and grab TNT as well as the stun grenades. And there's other ammo and things in here if you are going for that route as well. Now there is one more guy that we need to actually get around in this section, so we're going to use the knock and lure him over here so that we can get right around him. Again, you're free to run, stick to the right side, and as you can see, bam, you're good to go. Now we have the Ocelot battle, which is a little bit tricky, but hopefully I'll be able to guide you through it. Welcome to the Ocelot boss battle. First thing you want to do is go ahead and unequip your silencer and shoot him with your Mark 22. Get down over here in the corner and wait for them to start shooting you. If you're ducked down, they won't be able to hit you, and you can get in another shot. So that way we already have 2 shots on him very, very quickly. Now, my strategy for this is going to be unlike anybody else's, because I'm going for the more simplistic approach. We're going to be doing a lot of hits with the auto aim, and all I do to get this is whenever I see him, I get a little bit closer, and then I just click in the left thumbstick, and that allows me to pretty much be aimed in the direction that you need to in order to hit him. There are 2 snakes that can cause damage to you, that can poison you, so you want to take those out on each side as soon as you can. I do not hit the auto-target LB button, which is a different type of auto-targeting. So clicking the left thumbstick pretty much just brings up your weapon, and then as long as you're looking in the general direction of where Ocelot is, you should be able to hit him most of the time. It can be a little tricky to pull off, as you can see. There are a few times that I do get pretty lucky without taking any damage here, but go ahead and grab, obviously, the food that we see here as well, because you never know if we need those. And really, your main goal is just to stay behind the cover as much as you can. Only come out when you see there's an opportunity. And every single time he reloads, you'll be able to get in a free shot. So always take that into consideration. Use a stun grenade here, and if you throw it a little bit higher than you might actually think, you'll be able to do some damage to him. And we're also going to make him take a little bit longer and do a little damage to him as well by shooting this beehive nest. Now sometimes, if you go over to this right corner, you'll be able to see him as he's swatting all of the bees. However, he was too far back, so we couldn't actually get a good shot on him there. So unfortunately that didn't work and made it go a little bit longer because he still has to go through the animations of reloading. This is a boss battle that I spent about 2 hours on just to... I beat it many times and tried different things. But as you can see, this is one of those times where you're aiming in the direction, but it actually doesn't end up hitting him. I get lucky not to get shot here, though. So you can't always rely that it's going to work, but hopefully this strategy helps you guys out. As soon as you hear them start shooting at you, get down, and you should be able to not take any damage, and aim at them, and bam, you... What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back. I'm your host, CenterStrain01. More Metal Gear Solid 3 walkthrough Foxhound run. First thing you want to do, obviously, is pick up the camouflage that's right next to you, and we're going to equip it. This can be really, really tough for those of you that maybe haven't played this in a while. It took me a little while to remember where everything was in the cave, but I still do use the cigar, as this is not a no damage run or anything like that, and it doesn't take too much time to figure where you need to go. There's going to be a little section that you can crawl right to. It can be a little tricky once you go inside, because sometimes the camera angles can get a little mixed up. But if you just keep going, follow the path. Now what I'm seeing is actually less than probably what you're seeing right now, as I've upped the brightness a little bit so you can kind of make your way through a little easier when you're looking at it. But it was definitely a lot more tougher for me to actually get through this. So hug the wall as much as you can, and then just continually move forward. So let me explain about this next boss fight, the pain. This was the biggest pain in my arse. So I don't do this expertly, perfectly, to say the least. I only take maybe one little itty-bitty damage, and that is mainly because I stayed underwater too long. So in regards of not taking too much damage, then I did pretty well. But this is one of those boss fights that you're going to play hours and hours and hours, and every single time you do it, it's going to be different. He has so many different attacks, and we're going to go through all of them. It takes me a little bit longer to get through this battle than I would have wanted to, but a lot of people have a harder time to get through this unless you've played the game for years and years and years, and it's you know, second nature with the controls. But that's just not the case with me. So I'll kind of go over a little bit the telltales of everything that can end up happening in your run through of this. So immediately once you get to the next section, go to the right here. We're going to pick up specifically the shotgun. Now this is something that you can use or not use. It's up to you. I actually don't end up using it, but it's still good to have it, because you never know if for some reason you might end up needing the shotgun for any reason. I'm going to actually end up using the AK-47. So now we're just going to head back to where we were when we started, into this area, and then move to the right. So that's pretty much it. So what we're going to have equipped is our MK-22. We're going to have our regular grenades. We're going to be using those a lot, and they spawn on the map as well. We're also going to be using our AK-47 for the beehives grenades. But this is a very, very interesting boss fight, to say the least, and it can take you quite a long time. I can't really give you an honest-to-God strategy that'll help you to get through this every single time. You just have to play the game enough to get used to what what little curveballs it can throw at you. Once you know exactly the telltale signs of what's going to happen or what's he going to do next or when he's about to start it, then you know what to do and you'll have a better chance at actually getting through this. So hopefully you guys enjoy the cutscene, and I will see you back when we get to the boss fight. Alright, so immediately go ahead and equip your Mark 22. Try to get as many shots as you can. I am horrible at aiming. I will be the first one to say that I am not good at aiming with this game. It's just too out of modern for me to be able to aim in this. So he's usually on my playthrough, he always throws the vials, so you need to come over here. Once he does that, you get 1 or 2 hits maybe in on him, if you're lucky. And of course, this is all random. He might have the beehives around him, therefore you can't get shots on him. He also has a bunch of invincibility frames, as you can see, so you don't want to shoot too fast on him. But once he gets his beehives and he goes into the grenade, you want to shoot the grenade. Hopefully you shot it while it was still on the platform. Unfortunately, there it was on the platform but wasn't close enough. So here, there's a trick to throwing the grenades. Usually when you throw the grenade, you wait a few seconds. It'll actually allow you to be able to throw it right at him, but it doesn't always work, and sometimes it won't work. He can do these little maneuvers like that where he'll keep you from being able to move. So really there's not a lot that I can say. It's just about showing you the different types of damage that he can deal to you and the different ways that he does things. Whenever he does a grenade, as you can see, if you throw a grenade, you can get a few good easy shots in here. Don't spam it. I'm not good at the tactical reload, so I don't really use it. But don't spam hits. If you try to spam hits, he has invincibility frames, meaning that every time you hit him with the Mark 22, he'll automatically have about 2 seconds of you can't hit him again, if you do it the way that I do. So again, it's a mixture repeat of throwing grenades, but again, sometimes he does this and he ruins the fact that I threw that perfectly timed grenade to be able to do that. And you can get disoriented a lot. I know I'm speaking fast, but I want to make sure I get everything in there. There's just so many things that he can do. So there's one spot around here that grenades spawn. The only way they'll respawn is if you have 0 left. So try not to use stun grenades, as you might need them later, as regular grenades will take the bees down perfectly, and it doesn't actually damage them in any way, but it does allow you to be able to get in there with the Mark 22. So rinse and repeat. Always go for the grenades. See, the moment I throw the grenades, he actually loses that, so we didn't really need to throw the grenade at that point.
Oh, my brother!
But if he throws a grenade and you're on top of the platform, immediately get down as soon as you hear the grenade drop. If you do that, it will not damage you. Let's say if you're in the water and he throws a grenade like this here, wait till you hear the drop, and then you're invincible pretty much while you're getting out. He goes into this Tommy gun. This can really disorient you because of the way that the camera switches, so just wait till you get control again and then get out of the way. Pretty easy. You'll never take damage from the Tommy gun if you're on this side. Sometimes you can actually get a few hits. He only fires twice, 2 different sections out of the net. That's when you can get back up. And then, as you can see, throwing grenades just doesn't always, even though that actually worked, it was still pretty far away from it. But that should be the last part of this first section here. Alright, so now we move to the second part of the battle. This is the one that can take a lot of damage from you. You need to, anytime he does the bullet bees there, you need to get down as soon as you can. Now, immediately you can get right back up and rinse and repeat the same strategy that we've been doing, throwing a grenade at him while he's got the beehives on him, and hopefully that it'll be close enough to hit him. Even if he does the vials, you should still have a few seconds before they would actually get to you and do any damage. Now, when you do get hit by the vials, you have to immediately, after you hit them a few times, go down under the water so that you're no longer sprayed with that chemical mist. And then you just rinse and repeat. That's the biggest thing about this, is just to rinse and repeat. Once you learn the different patterns that he can do, then this fight becomes pretty easy. I beat it many times, sometimes without taking damage. It's just, it can be very difficult because sometimes you'll shoot at him, but you won't do any damage because of the invincibility frames, and that just took me too long to realize that you have to wait a few seconds before you're able to hit him again. So you just gotta kind of hope and pray for the best, really. And as you can also see, damage to his torso doesn't do nearly as much as headshots. See how those were doing no damage because I just wasn't waiting long enough. And I, again, am my biggest setback in this battle. as I was still learning all of the controls and learning this specific battle. I think I played, I want to say, about 4 hours of this battle alone, just trying to learn every maneuver that he does, and as you can see, it just doesn't work out the way you always want it to. But he is pretty easy to defeat. He just is always doing random stuff and you never know what's going to happen. Most of the boss battles, you know exactly what they're going to do, but this is one of those battles that you just don't know what's coming up next. And you can't always throw grenades where you want. And of course, when I get a good grenade, I get hit by that. Nice little butt shot. See? Invincibility frames. So again, always just go back and forth to get your grenades. Now again, your stamina is going to start to drain rapidly, so take an eye out on your O2 gauge and make sure you don't go too low, because I do end up taking some damage from me not realizing that my O2 was too far low, and then it depletes really fast. So you definitely got to watch out for that. If you had the crocodile cap for any reason, like you went and got it in the swamp, then you'd be able to aim a little bit better, but I don't have that. See, what looks like could be headshots, but you just gotta wait. Oh, they're so close. He never stays still, and that's what makes it so tough, and I'm horrible at aiming. I am not one of those guys that played this game for the past 7 years, off and on. You know, I haven't played it since I did the very easy walkthrough back in 2012. And that's about really the only little amount of damage that I take. It's that Tommy gun, because he didn't teleport the Tommy gun. Usually you'll have subtitles that'll say Tommy gun, but I had no idea when I went up that he was going into the Tommy gun that time. And again, every single time I throw my grenade, he's got something else for me there just to counter it. So like I said, at the moment I'm about ready to start hitting him again, it goes into that. But that's what it is. Again, this will be the longest battle you see. Looks like I'm almost hitting them, but I'm actually not. It's crazy, because you gotta be so precise. I mean, I shot 4 or 5 shots right there that were so close to his head, but just the slightest bit of movement just completely ruins it for you. But the battle is about ready to come to an end now. Again, here is where I take a little damage from the... It can be tough sometimes to orient yourself because of the camera. I'd say the biggest problem I had in this and learning everything was that the camera is just horrible implementation. It's not really horrible, it's just when you're so used to modern camera, this going back and forth is really, really bad. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Alright, so now that we got that boss battle out of the way, what we're going to do next is go ahead and grab the camo that he drops. Again, every enemy or boss that you kill will drop ammo if you kill them non-lethally. And it's easier if you change your camera here to make sure you make the jump. So, pick up the camo, and now, as you notice, our stamina is really, really low. We didn't really take barely any damage. But there is a quick way to get your stamina back up without actually having to use any items or eat any food or anything like that. That is to go into your codec and go to this specific codec frequency, and you should be able to immediately get your stamina back up. And there's a bunch of frequencies that you can use. So throughout the walkthrough, you're going to see me use different frequencies. You can only use one at a time. So again, there are a bunch of them out there that you can use that will allow you to regain your stamina very, very quickly. We're going to switch back to our Tiger Stripe. I prefer to go with Tiger Stripe for most of the walkthrough, as it has the perfect blend of guards being able to see you when you want them to and not being able to see you when you want them to. And hopefully that makes sense. Like some of the strategies that I've done, especially earlier in the game, if you would have had a different camo on, would not have worked, especially the one when you're leading up to talk to Sokolov for the first time. That strategy there would not have worked if we did not have the basic camo that you start that game with. If you chose any other camo, then you would not have been able to pull it off. Here you're going to have a little cutscene up ahead, which is going to introduce some new types of enemies, but they're pretty easy to get by. Alright, so sometimes I accidentally hit the pause button because I'm trying to skip the cutscenes as fast as I can. You don't really need to pick up any of this, but up ahead there is some items that we can get. In order to get them, you want to switch to your regular ammunition, your M19. They're surrounded by claymores, which is why you want to shoot them. Just make sure you're far enough away. MK22 bullets, M19, and AK-47, which will definitely come in handy for the Fear boss battle. So it's time to move on to the next section, which is the little swamp area that you need to crawl through. Be careful here. Make sure you jump more to the right than I did. I barely made it. But it is a quicker way to get down instead of having to go all the way around. And we'll move on to the next section. Here you just immediately want to go down, and you're going to swim the whole way. You should have enough stamina to where you'll be able to make it pretty easily. You really never have to worry about being seen on this. Just stick to the right, and most of the time the guards will never even know you're there. You do have to pop up because you have to take a look at your O2 gauge. So once that starts getting low and you pass this guy right here, go ahead and pop up just to get it back up before you take any damage. And then continue along. And there's still one more you need to worry out. Once you're past him, you can get back up. And we're going to switch and make sure that our suppressor is back on our Mark 22 so we can get back into stealth mode. We have a long cutscene up ahead. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you once it's done. So I pretty much tried everything that I could think of to get by these guys without taking them out, because that was the goal that I wanted, was the least amount of knockouts. But you literally have to knock out all three of these guys. It's just the way that they're situated. You can kind of get by this guy, but they even see you in the water, especially with the uniform that I have. I know we could probably change uniforms, make things a little different, but again, we're keeping with the tried and true uniform that we're using here. So go ahead and take those guys out. Pretty easy to do if you just do that from where you start. Take this guy out. We're going to go ahead and grab some stun grenades as well as Mark 22 ammo. And what I got up ahead took me a little bit of time to figure out, but I think I'm pretty sure no one else does exactly the way that I do this. And it's actually really, really cool. This allows me to get by these three guards here without taking any of them out. So you need to immediately, as soon as this starts, run. We're going to jump at this corner, and we're going to keep going. Do not stop. You can actually run through this whole section. You're far enough away to where they won't actually be able to hear you. Here we're going to stop because we got to wait on this guard. Now other people do all kinds of things like using cardboard boxes and whatnot. We're going to use the stun grenades. Now you don't have to use the stun grenades, but you're going to have an easier time getting through this if you do. Wait until he's about a little bit more than halfway past and then start running. Make sure you're holding down the X button in order to do that. Keep running. Keep going. This guard here will not see you, and we're going to get over here against this barrel. Now, there was something else I could have tried. I could have tried kept going to where he was. Again, you can knock him out if you want to and then keep going, so that'll save you some time. Maybe you can get right behind him and then wait as soon as he turns to the right, then you can go. But here, this is the safer route. Just wait until he passes, and you're easily able to get by him without worrying too much. He will not look in this direction. Go into your stalker mode, and you should be able to get by him with major ease. Alright, so the next section, there's a few traps and things that you need to watch out for. So If you want, go the route that I do to make sure that you avoid these. I do go over some traps, but that's because I use the roll mechanic, which allows us to go over it without actually setting it off. One is right here. Then you just need to follow this path to go around and make sure you don't hit any more. So really you only have to worry about one trap. Well, two, sorry. But once you get by that, then you're clear to the next section. So again, we're back on trying not to take any soldiers out. So there are a lot quicker ways to get through these sections, but I'm going to do this without firing a single shot. Which pretty much is really easy to do. You just need to get down and crawl. I know I get a lot of people that say, you know, why didn't I do something this way or this way? Why do I want to take people out? Because I just prefer the challenge of trying to figure out how I can just leave them be. Make sure I do not touch them as much as possible. Now, we do end up taking one guy out in the next section, only because he has a very, very slow pattern, and he's directly in your line of sight for a long time, and you can't really get around him unless you wait about a good 3 or 4 minutes, and I don't want it to be that boring for you. So here, just continually move, stay as far to the left as you can. The tiger stripe camo gives you a 70% camo index, which means that he can't see you from where you are right here. So you're pretty much good to go. Now you just need to wait until he turns around a little bit. If you want, go ahead and shoot him. Do it how you want. I just love that challenge of knowing that I was able to get by without actually messing with them. Now I kind of get stuck here because of the way that the controls are. They're really, really bad. So I can't actually move forward right now, so you kind of have to stand up. But luckily he's already turned around, and then we can go back down and face where we need to go. The controls can be your biggest hindrance in this game. It is an older title, so it's just a different time period, and we've been so used to the way modern controls are now. So go ahead and get out your Mark 22. We're going to take out this guy as soon as the cut, or as soon as we get to the next section, and then we can immediately go inside to the facility. And then once we're in there, it's pretty easy to get around, because we're going to be using the scientist disguise. So immediately, as soon as you have control, if you just go into first person, you can see that you're already aimed on the guy, and you can take him out quite easily. He's the only guy you really need to take out in this section because he's so far away from you and he can see you. You got to take him out because it'll just take 3 minutes or so for him to do his pattern for you to sneak around him. And that's just too long. Here, go ahead and get your scientist outfit out. And it pretty much makes this section going through a breeze. This is an outfit you automatically get that Eva gives you when you first meet her. You don't have to worry about any guards seeing you. What you have to worry about are the scientists. So you do need to be careful about them, but it's pretty easy to get around them in this. I'm going to go through this door up here, and then you're heading to the next area. You're going to pick up the 6 spray because those will definitely come in handy a little bit later. So just continue around the corner here and pick up the 6 spray. And guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I put a little bit more beefy gameplay in it for you guys. I know there's a lot of cutscenes. Next video, we'll start with a long cutscene. Wait for this scientist guy to turn around, and then you're free to go. Get up against this corner here because you need to wait for him to move. Once he sits down and turns around, then you're free to go. Don't worry about them seeing you or anything like that. And guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. It takes a lot of effort to make these. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back. I'm your host, CenterStrain01, and we have got more Metal Gear Solid 3 walkthrough Foxhound run. First things first is we need to replenish our stamina. So we're going to go to radio frequency 146.45, which is a different frequency, which will allow us to be able to get our stamina back up. You don't have to do this, but if you want to make sure that you can aim steady and true, then you want to do that. So immediately we're going to go into our backpack. We're going to get out the cardboard box. Now the cardboard box, this is really the only time I use it as of right now. And that's only because there's one guard, or not guard, but one scientist that you really can't get around here unless you take him out or you use the cardboard box. So just use that little trick, equip it as soon as you're about to pass him, and then you can easily go by. This section is pretty straightforward, and we're going to be moving rather quickly to get through it. So we're going to start to prepare ourselves for the battle with the Fear, which is the easiest, well, not the easiest boss fight, but It can take you a little time to get the timing down, but you can finish this boss fight super, super quick, and I'm going to show you how to do that here. But first off, before we exit the building, we're going to go ahead and equip specific camouflage, face, and actual uniform. So we're going to go with face-wise Splitter, and we're also going to go uniform Tiger Stripe. This is for a specific reason. If you do not have this specific combo, then what you are going to see me do in the warehouse will not work. It was a challenge to go through it time and time again and learn if I could pull it off without taking anyone out. So here, just immediately run a diagonal towards where you see me go, and then you're pretty much free to go. You don't have to worry about anything. So next up, we're going to be heading to the outside of this lab. We need to take out the first guard. I tried a lot of different ways to not take him out. Obviously, you can distract him if you have magazines or that such, but we haven't been using any of that, and I don't want to use any of that. So we're going to take him out, unfortunately. He is a casualty of war, but it is a knockout. And we're going to go ahead and get down to the other side. Don't worry about the snake here. Just get up. Go ahead and switch to your stun grenades, as we're going to be using those in the boss fight up ahead. Stick as close to the wall as you can. As soon as you hear the guards say, huh, roll when I do. He just said, huh, that's when you want to roll. You should be able to get by those guys without being seen. So the first thing we're going to do actually is to go ahead and get into your cure menu and take out the poison. I forget to do that here. But we're going to use the revival pill as soon as you have access. This is going to allow you to fake your death, make him think that you're dead. Do not use the revival pill until he turns around. And as soon as he does, go ahead and get your stun grenades, throw them at his feet. Immediately turn around, get your AK-47 out, and immediately start firing. You have a very, very short limit time in order to do this. But if you do it correctly, you'll be able to take him out super easy. Now that that battle is over with, we're going to go ahead and move on. Get your stun grenades out. This is why you needed this specific uniform. Make sure you pick up the spider uniform, of course. And again, I forgot to put the poison out of, because I did it so many times that for some reason I decided this one I didn't. I don't know why I didn't do it. But anyways, you're still fine. We're going to go ahead and move up. This was one of the toughest challenges I had, is to get by all three of these enemies. Do exactly what you see me do. Don't get too close to the railing. Once you get over here, immediately drop down and catch the next one. If you do not do it in the specific timing that I did, the guy on that bottom left right there will see you. Once his head is turned, go ahead and get down, get into a prone position, and start crawling. What we need to do is we need to get the guys above us. The one guy that is above us, he needs to barely be able to see us and make his way towards us, or else he'll catch us doing what we're doing up ahead. So once you see us and you see him moving, that's when you want to go. Use your stun grenade, hold it down, and start running towards this exit here. Wait here and use your stalk. Wait for this guy to turn around. As soon as he does, move forward and just stalk your way. Then you can unequip the stun grenade once you get on here. And then go ahead and head for the exit, and you won't have to worry about messing with anyone or being caught. Took me a while to figure that one out, and again, you know, I didn't do any saves. I didn't save since Groznyj, so this took quite a while for me to get through on a nice one run. So up ahead, we've got a code up conversation, and we've got one more section to, or should I say, two more sections to stealth. Now that we have control, we're going to go ahead and move to the next section. As you can see, my health is still slowly starting to go down, and that is completely my fault because I forgot to take the poison out, but I'll do that as soon as we get to the end. So this section took me another quite a bit of time to figure it out, and once I put it all together, it took me about 6 or 7 times all together to do everything in one single go without saving, so it was pretty nice. Go the route that I do. Timing is very, very crucial and critical during this section. We are going to take this one guy out. He is the choke point. You pretty much have to take him out, or else you're going to have to wait for a while. There's going to be a guard up here. We're able to sneak by him without actually him hearing us, so don't worry about him being heard. We're going to jump through this little log on the left, and we're going to move straight forward, get up a little bit more, and go ahead and get down. Now, I got down a little early just to be safe, but you can go into maybe stalk mode and be okay. Now, a guard will kind of see you here, but as long as you continually move forward, crawling. Do not get up. If you do get up, he will see you, but right now we're at a 50%. So that's it. Up next is the end, and thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course, I'll see you next time. Peace out. Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'm your host, CenterStrain01, Metal Gear Solid 3 HD Walkthrough Foxhound European Edition. So I'm going to do the skip the end boss battle. You just have to change your time up 1 month and the end will be defeated. I will be doing a video separately to show you guys how to do this at a later date. But for right now, again, this video has always been, and walkthrough has always been for those of you that have had a hard time or haven't played in a while, so you can get the Foxhound rank. So hopefully you enjoy. We'll be back with more after this next cutscene, and don't worry, there will be a video later. So once the cutscene is over, then you're going to control. Just continually head north. Use your cardboard box if you want to get a little quicker. Again, I know, and I'm going to get a lot of probably hate for skipping that boss battle. But if you want to see the boss battle, I already did it in my other walkthrough that I did a few years ago. But I will do another video showing you how to do it. It's not that difficult once you learn the strategy of pretty much tracking him using your thermals, getting to know where the locations that he can spawn, and getting up behind him stealthily. It's not that tough. But again, this walkthrough is for those of you out there that have never been able to achieve this ranking. I want to make sure to give you the easiest possibility for you to be able to do it. So that is why we skipped it for this video, but I will have another one later on showing you how you can defeat him. So since we're going to move on, we have a long area up ahead. This is the infamous ladder scene. You will drain a lot of stamina, so at the top here we're going to go ahead and do another radio frequency. I think there's a total about 7 or 8 radio frequencies that you can do in order to get your stamina back up. I'm not 100% sure if you can actually eat animals or anything like that in order to get the requirements, but I decided not to, as this is a free way to get stamina up. Now, you don't need to have your stamina up, but if you're someone that uses the aiming a lot and you want to make sure that your aiming is true so you're not screwing things up when you're trying to go for those headshots, then obviously you want your stamina to be up. This is such a beautiful scene here. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. I'm going to let you listen till we get to the end. Now that we are at the end, we're going to go ahead and listen to a frequency. As you can see, our health is pretty low, or should I say our stamina is. Now, the frequency can be a little weird to maneuver around sometimes. If you go too fast, it'll skip way ahead. If you go too slow, it'll take forever. So all you just want to go is to 140.16. Little pillow talk for you. I'm CenterStrain01. Welcome. But we're going to go ahead and continue on here. Now, the next few sections, I found some strategies in order to get around these. They are going to take you a few times. There's no way to get around this quickly without having to try a few different times. So get out your Mark 22 and use your cardboard box. Everything that you see specifically here is everything that you need to do to get around it in the way that I do. So stick to the left side here against the edge so that the guy up on top doesn't hear you. We're going to be going all the way over to the end here. We're going to take out one guy in this section. It's going to be this guy right here. So quickly get up against here, get your Mark 22 out, and headshot him. Don't be too quick here. Wait a few seconds until this guy up ahead moves. Get your box out about now. That way he's not looking in this direction. And then you can get by him as well. You're going to be slightly seen by a few enemies here, but you have a big enough camo index, tiger stripe, and splitter. As soon as that guy says, huh, that's when you want to go ahead and do that little jump. Now, it can be a little difficult to maneuver inside this little area. It's a very, very small box that you have in order to be able to crawl into here. Grab 2 sets of Mark 22 bullets in case you've been low. That's the only time we're going to pick up Mark 22 bullets until the very, very end. And then go ahead and make your way around the left here. As you can see, there is a guard there. Nobody else will see you, and you can move on to the next section. Have your MK22 already equipped. Immediately hold down the X or square button as soon as this cutscene, or as soon as it starts. You'll automatically be aiming at the guy up ahead, and we shot him already. That is a quick, easy kill in order to do that. It's very, very, you'll always be able to get that specific kill. Here you want to go ahead and take this guy out at this corner. Now, do not use your cardboard box here at all. Go ahead and simply run up. This is going to alert the guard that's up ahead, but he won't get actually alerted. He'll start walking towards you, and take him out. Always use the cardboard box when you see me use the cardboard box, because everything is specifically timed. That's what's great about the Metal Gear games, is that you know what you're going to get pretty much every single time. It's always going to be the same every time you enter a new section. So once we get here, go ahead and go to your stun grenades, equip them, and don't throw them, but just hold them down, and you can get by this guard here without him hearing you. Here you want to stop just for about 3 seconds, and then go. The reason is we want the guards up in the next section to be timed correctly, so that when we do this next distraction, we'll be able to do both of them. So as soon as you get the exclamation point, stop, go into your camouflage, and switch to... I do the scientist because it's one of the lowest indexes. Immediately, if you get a second one, get down as soon as you can. And we're just going to wait here. As you'll see, the second guard is not looking in our direction, so we need to wait until he looks in our direction. But if you notice, the guard that is moving right now constantly looks in our direction, except now. There is a little bit of period of time where he's not looking. As soon as that exclamation point comes up, go back into your regular tiger stripe camo and immediately get down. That is the only timing window that you have, where, as you can see, the guy coming towards us is looking up. The other guy is also looking up in our direction, so if we're seeing it all, that won't be able to work out by the bottom guy. So everything has to be done specifically the way that I do it, but it is something you can pull off pretty consistently, which is why I went with this strategy. So just wait for both of them to go down. Again, you can skip all of this crap if you just knock them out. Like, if you just use your MK22 and do headshots from far away. I mean, yes, that makes it so much easier. But again, I always try to limit the amount of enemies that I actually take out. The section before, you pretty much had to take out a lot of enemies just because they were in a funnel, just, you know, very, very small linear way of you moving up. Here you want to go ahead and take this guy out. You can't crawl past him. It just doesn't work. I tried. You could probably distract him with a magazine if you wanted to, but... Now this next section is a little tough, but it's not too difficult. Immediately get your cardboard box out and go the route that I do. Take your cardboard box off here. Once you hear a noise, put it back on. Once you hear a noise again, put it back on, and then go the route that I do. If done correctly, they'll perceive you and head towards you, especially the guy that's up here. But he won't know exactly where you are because he's already lost sight of you. So as long as you get past the point of where he is going to climb up, then you should be good to go. There's this other guard there too. Once he turns around, you are free to go until the cutscene. Hopefully that was going to be able to help you guys out. Remember, practice these, and they should be able to be complete actually fairly. It shouldn't take you too long to be able to do that. Now that we got control again, immediately we're going to be heading back down. I'm going to show you how to get through this without worrying about any enemies. Now, if you've done everything the way that I have done, there will be a Mark 22 ammo up here on the left, right when you get down these stairs. If you did something differently, there might be some different type of ammo. So, again, ammo is always different depending on what you have done previously. So here, what you're going to want to do is run down. You want to jump at this angle, and then immediately jump across this guy. Move to the left here, do another jump, but try to make it to where you don't go all the way down or else you'll take a lot of damage. It can be a little tricky, but again, that should take you no problem at all if you follow that exact route. Here we're just going to be moving as quickly as we can as we head down until the next boss battle. There is no, unique date and time trick to go through the Fury here, so we're going to be tackling him, of course, just like the regular bosses. Again, I'll have another video at the end, at some point, showing you how to defeat the end. I don't know, you know, big time, really quick speedrunning strategies for any of these boss fights, but I want to make sure you guys get that Foxhound ranking, so that was the whole purpose. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'm your host, CenterStrain01. We've got more Metal Gear Solid 3 HD walkthrough, Foxhound Edition. This is the Fury fight. I'm not very good at this fight. This is definitely one of the tougher fights. My suggestions for this is to really get better at tactical reloading. But it's just something I'm not very good at. You always got to dodge his attacks. Try to maybe only go in for maybe 2. When he goes down into about ready to fly, that's when you want to start hitting him, and then try to rinse and repeat as much as you can. See, unfortunately, I thought he was going to fly instead of actually use his fire. So I screwed that up. Once you hear that little noise rev up, that means he's going to start flying, and you can go ahead and go into that. Unfortunately, he does fall down, which I could have maybe repeated this more and more, but unfortunately he fell, and I couldn't do that. So it's hard for me to come up with a strategy for these boss fights because they're so quick. If you don't want to catch on fire throughout the level, use the cardboard box. It allows you to move around without actually catching on fire. And then as soon as you have an opportunity, then you can unuse it, maybe get a few hits on him. And that's what I try to do here, is I try to get a few hits on him, even though I do take damage during the fire, but immediately take the fire out by putting the cardboard box back on. And then you can rinse and repeat this process. It will take you a little bit of time. If you did the end boss fight, you'll have the Mosin Nagant, which makes this fight a lot easier, but since we did not have it, we have to use this method. So I trust, you know, just follow kind of what I do in this video and try to get them into the same predicaments, and hopefully you'll be able to complete it. Alright, so here, just don't forget to pick up your Mark 22 bullets as well as the camo that we just got. Fire. Now, if only there was an ice camo in here, huh? It'd be all like Game of Thrones. Excuse me, that's a suppressor, not rounds. And we're going to be heading up to infiltrate Groznyj Grad. So the first thing you want to do is, because we're low on Mark 22 bullets, is pick up some here, if you've been doing it the way that I have. And then we can head. You're pretty much clear to go. Use the box to go a little faster if you need to, especially up and down things. Go the route that I do so that you're not seen. If you have Splitter and Tiger Stripe, you should not get an alert if you hurry up and move to the side here, as well as with these guys. Should be able to easily move to the next section without having to worry too much. Now in the next section, we're only going to have to take out one guard, so go ahead and put your suppressors back on. As we enter the next section, we're going to move directly to the right, and we're going to take this guard, wait a few minutes, and then we should have a clear spot when the other guard turns around in order to be able to complete this. But just move here to the right. Take this guy out. Wait a few seconds because the guard up ahead, he doesn't see what you just did. As soon as he turns around, go ahead and go and make a beeline right for the left side of the truck. And you should be able to get around him without him turning around. And we can go ahead and get inside. So my strategy for the inside portion is to hide in the cardboard box. We need to take out one guard plus Ivan himself. It's actually not too difficult if you do it this way. But you do want to use the cardboard box to get up here as quickly as you can. Once this guard is past your view, go ahead and CQC him. Hide the body on the other side of the door. And wait for Ivan to come out, and you're going to repeat the same process of CQCing Ivan. Give him a little bit of a lead. Alright, and now we just need to drag his body all the way until we get to the cutscene. Very easy to do. I had another strategy where I took Ivan out within the first 5 seconds, but it was so hard to pull off. You had to have an immaculate headshot. This way allows us to do it without any fear of anyone seeing us, and we're pretty much clear until the end. You can't normally get through this door, so having Ivan will allow you to get through the door. Once you gain control, immediately go into your camouflage, and you want to equip Raiden's face as well as the uniform of the officer. This is the only way you're going to be able to get through the next section. And as far as gameplay-wise, this is going to be it for the video. There is a super long, awesome cutscene with some really cool action and whatnot in it. So I definitely recommend you guys staying around if you're enjoying the story. If you're only here for the gameplay, this is going to be it as far as that goes. There's the Shagohod. We'll be coming in there a little bit later. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the walkthrough so far. I've really taken my time to edit all the cutscenes in and try to make it as neat as possible. Hopefully I've accomplished that mission. But again, I will have a single video on all gameplay after the walkthrough is complete. Thanks for watching, guys, and of course, I will see you next time. Peace out.
Sir! Tell me!
Stop it!
Who have you been talking to?
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
You'd better start talking.
Please, stop this!
Who is Khrushchev's lapdog?
How can you do this to him?
I know you gave the data to someone.
Never do
You!
that. You monster.
I guess he's dead. Now then, I hope you'll prove more entertaining than he was. But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we? What a beautiful body you have, like a newborn baby. But not for long. Well then, let's get started. What is your target? Is it the Shagohod? Or Sokolov? Or maybe it's the Legacy? Answer me! Who is helping you? Who let you in here? You're a tough one, but even you must have your limits. And I am a patient man.
What's up, ladies and gents? CenterStrain01, your host. Welcome back to more Metal Gear Solid 3 HD walkthrough, Foxhound, European Extreme. We are now outside of the torture scene, so first thing you want to do is grab the fork and get rid of both of these. This is going to give you the fake death pill, as well as getting rid of the transmitter that was put into the back of you by Ocelot. Fun note, this is Johnny. I believe he is the grandfather of Johnny from the Metal Gear Solid 1 and 4. He's also in Metal Gear Solid 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, you guys saw the sorrow during the cutscene, so he was pretty much giving you the frequency you need in order to get out of the cell, 144.75. So use this, but wait until Johnny is not looking and he's heading in the other direction, so you don't actually have to mess with him whatsoever, and you can continue and move on without any fear. Now, if you want to do this faster, equip a cigar. That way you don't, you want to get your health as low as possible, but that's just not my style. So here, it's pretty easy to get by these guards. Wait till this guy is completely turned around. Once he is, wait till this guy's head is looking in the other direction. Get up against this little corner here so he can't see you when he turns his head again. Once he's done looking, he'll turn. Then you can go ahead and get up and start running towards the exit. Fairly simple to figure out. The next section here, you can pretty much run. Just stay against the left side as much as possible, and no guard will be able to do an alert. He might sense you or hear a little bit from you, but it does not. You're far enough away to where it doesn't give you an alert. Now, the next section, I It took me a little bit of time to figure this one out because obviously I wanted to do it in a fast but yet non-lethal way. I didn't want to have to mess with anyone. So what you want to do is you want to get this guard's attention over here by the tank. Just barely. I mean, just enough, because if he sees you for too long, you'll be caught. Here, you want to kind of go back the way that I did. Get this guard's attention here. It could take a little bit of time, but as soon as you hear that you got his attention, that's when you want to get out of his sight, because these guys will alert you as soon as they see you for more than 1 second. Head the way that I do, as you have 2 other guards to worry about here. If done so correctly in the timing that I have done it, you can immediately go up against this left side of the wall here, and then make a 45 degree to this end. As soon as you hear, get down and start your crawl. This could be a little tricky to get around this door, as sometimes Snake will automatically get up. If he does that, you're pretty much going to get caught. You got to stay down the whole entire time. Now, once you're at this point, the guard will never be able to see you on the other side because it's considered to be like kind of a wall. And this is how you can pretty much get through those sections without having to worry about any of the guards. We just use some distractions as far as them seeing us very slightly. Skip a little codex scene just telling you where you're going to be escaping here, and then continue on. Don't dawdle, because you do have enemy forces that are after you at this point. They pretty much know that you escaped down into the sewers. So once you get past a certain section up ahead, you'll see that there'll be dogs starting to chase you. Now, rarely will they ever actually be able to catch up to you. It just depends on how slow you're being. If you're lollygagging around, then you're going to get caught. But if you're moving at a good pace and you're not like stopped for any reason whatsoever, then you should easily be able never to have to worry about the dogs catching up to you. That's when the dogs will start. So you just got to continually move from one section to the other before the dogs have a chance to actually get to you. Each section will have a dog in it. Just follow the route that I do. And we're going to head up 2 places here. There is a dog behind us chasing us right now, but like I said, if you continually move forward, you'll never have to worry about the dog actually catching you. And there'll be another dog that'll start chasing you doing this right here, but as you can see, you can get out of here really quickly. And that is going to be it for gameplay. Well, not really. There's still 1 more section of game, well, 2 more sections of gameplay in this video. So enjoy the cutscene, and I'll see you when we start dealing with the Sorrow boss battle, if you want to call it that. So here, you're automatically going to die. There's nothing you can do. That's why you were given the fake death pill and revival and all that stuff. So just go ahead and kill yourself, pretty much. If you don't want to have to go through the long, drawn-out thing, you can just continually move forward, and you'll eventually die and do this anyways. But you can do it a lot faster if you just drain your health here. Do not hit continue. Do the revival pill, and that is it. Since we took out the transmitter in the cell with the fork, if you remember, Ocelot put it into our back, the cutscene in the torture room, you don't have to worry about any guards here. Now, fun note that if you do not take it out, you'll have to worry about a bunch of guards in this section, but you'll also get a cool cutscene with Eva when she removes it. But again, this just alleviates all enemies in this section, and you can easily move to the waterfall without any problems whatsoever. That's going to be it for gameplay for this game on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the walkthrough. It has taken me a lot of time to get all these cutscenes ready, but thanks for watching, guys. Love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Ladies and gents, welcome back. I'm your host, CenterStrain01. More Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme Foxhound run. Immediately once you finally get control after the cave scene, we're going to go ahead and head up back to Groznyj, Grad, right where we were before with all of the tanks. Don't forget to go ahead and pick up whatever you feel you need to here. It is very, very important that you pick up at the end of this hallway. Make sure you pick up this cardboard box. Also, I also recommend that you might want to hit these mushrooms, because the mushrooms can actually be used in the Volgin fight if you want to go that route. I don't do it because I don't pick them up, so we're not going to explain any more of that. But here, just pick up some more Mark 22 ammo, as we're going to be using that to defeat Volgin a little bit. So, pretty much going to come up here, have a little cutscene, and then we'll continue on. So once you get control, immediately go ahead and get into your start menu. Of course, we always like to go with Splitter and Tiger Stripe. Go back into your backpack, and there's a few things that we need to get out for the upcoming battles and whatnot. Make sure your Mark 22 is out. I forget to do that here, but I do it in the next section, so don't worry about it too much. But make sure your Mark 22 is out. Make sure your stun grenades are out. And make sure the C3 is out. Those are the only really things you need. And also, on the utility side, make sure your cardboard box B is out. And I go ahead and put away a few other things just so it doesn't cloud up my inventory. So here what you want to do as soon as it starts is to wait until this guard turns around. As soon as he does, go ahead and move immediately. Follow the route that you see me do. You should be far enough away to where the guys won't be able to get a real good glimpse at you. Stay enough away from him so where he can't turn around and hear your footsteps. And stay along this edge of the wall here. Doing so means that you should not be caught by any of the guards that are in the posts on the left and right. They're tall posts that they are kind of inside and they can see you from very, very far away. Here you don't have to worry too much about the dog. As soon as we enter the truck here, go ahead and get your cardboard box B out, and it's going to take us directly to where we need to go, which is in the hangar. Just remember, if you don't want to do this route, you can do cardboard box A and get the stealth camo that's in the lockers where you got riding. But we didn't go that route, obviously. Here, just getting back out my Mark 22 that I forgot to get out in the previous section. You want to go ahead and fire right at the fuel canister. This is going to cause a caution, which is going to allow you to be able to get through this section very, very easily. So just move up to where these are, and we're going to be using the C3. You obviously have to get close enough and hit the right button, which is the square button or the X button on the Xbox 360. Here, use the cardboard box so he doesn't really see you, and then go ahead and put it down. You're going to get some codec calls here. Just skip them. They're not too important. They're just telling you to grab the other ones. Put the cardboard box back on and get out of his peripheral. Then you don't have to use that again. And do the same thing right here. I always like to use third person, but I know a lot of other people like to use the original camera. But I like the camera. And that's it. You've planted all the bombs. All I can say about this fight is immediately run forward and CQC him. Jump over him. Now, immediately get out your Mark 22, take off your suppressor, wait right in front of him a little bit so that way he stands still, get behind him, shoot him in the head. Now you're going to repeat this process that you see me do over and over again. So get close to him, wait till he stands completely up, run around to his right, and do that. You need to make sure that the Mark 22 is out during this. If the Mark 22 is not out, he will not do this same pattern to be able to get him into this pattern. So make sure you have your Mark 22 equipped. And you can do this over and over again until he gets under halfway health, and then we'll move on with the second part of the boss fight. Immediately, as soon as this starts, you want to go to the pause screen, go to your face camo, and go to mask. This is going to confuse Volgin. Get up behind him. Immediately, get 3 shots in. You don't have to tactical reload here. You can get them in. Unequip your Mark 22 and get down. Do not rush him after he throws this. Wait, because he's going to do a little hit combo. This always happens. It never changes. So just stay as close to him as you can. Don't get far away from him. The farther away you get from him, the more chance you have of not getting this specific pattern. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get that there, but he didn't do any damage to us, as you see, even though he did kick us. So you want to stay as close to him, CQC him, and then do the jump combo. Do not go away from him. You got to be close. When you see him do this move, get on one side and immediately move to the other and do the same thing. Always get up close to him as soon as he stands up and then back away a little bit. If he goes into this, hopefully you'll land some better shots than I do here, but the auto aim just didn't really do good. We did get 1 shot in. Stay close to him again. Wait until he does a 3-punch kick combo, then you should be able to grab him. Never grab him when he has full electricity. As you'll see here, he'll punch you a few times. Always when he's punching, keep circling him. If you do so, you should always be able to get the same thing that he lines up for. It will take you a while, but you will be able to get it. Go ahead and, of course, equip your Cold War and take off your mask. Hopefully, you'll be able to get that boss battle. That did take me quite a while to figure out that strategy, but it shouldn't take you that long if you do exactly what I do. Stay as close as you can to him during that second portion, or also do the things that you can unblock. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it for the gameplay, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back. I'm your host, CenterStrain01. More Metal Gear Solid 3 HD walkthrough Foxhound run. First thing you want to do, obviously, is get out your RPG, make sure your stun grenades are out as well, and your MK22. Second of all, I just want you to know that I spent hours editing this footage together because of all of the little cutscenes here and there throughout this. Took a very, very long time to edit, so if you wouldn't mind, please leave a like and show your support on the video by commenting as well. So you can do a little bit of damage to the Shagohod. Very, very minute damage. Obviously, I don't do that well at it because I'm not like an expert at the game, you know. But take these guys out quickly. A lot of people maybe use stun grenades on this as you have an infinite amount of weapons to use ammo-wise. So really, it's up to you. But try to get any damage that you can against the Shagohod. You'll do very minute. I did a little bit of damage right there. You always want to aim at that little middle section in between it. But obviously try not to take any damage against yourself or Eva by firing when it's too close to you. The biggest thing is with the Cold War camo, as long as you are looking at enemies, you won't take any damage from them. So always try to keep enemies looking straight ahead at you. Don't like give your back to them as much as you can. There's going to be situations where there's nothing you can do. Like here, I'm taking fire from the back. As you can see, there's a guard right at my back here. But this camo is the best to use in these situations. But once you get by those enemies, no more is behind you, so you don't have to worry too much anymore. Take out as many as you can here. You can use stun grenades again, but I would just prefer to shoot them. You don't need headshots, you just need one-shot kills. Or not kills, but one-shot tranquilizers, and that's it. Try to get maybe an additional little bit of damage here on the Shagohod if you can. Again, I'm pretty bad at this whole section, but that's just to show you guys that you don't need to be perfect at the sections. Just try to do the least amount of damage that you can sustain. Obviously, because you're only allowed to have up to 5 health bars worth of damage in the full run. So try to do the best that you can. We understand it's not going to be perfect. We're not like the speedrunners out there that have played this game for years and years and years and know the controls in and out. This is me revisiting it again after 6 years or so and trying to still accomplish that Foxhound ranking. So we'll have a little cinema and then we'll start back up with some more gameplay. Once you have control again, just keep, again, all of them in the vicinity as you can. Use some stun grenades on this one this time because you are going to need to be able to take out a lot of enemies. I do take quite a bit of damage here, so hopefully I think you should be able to do better once you memorize where the enemies are. I did this pretty much on my first time going through this, so I was like, you know what, that's good enough for government work. I didn't play this one over and over again, so I just, because you got to remember that when you're doing things over and over again, you have to constantly restart the game, then go back into it. So just remember that I took a lot of damage there from that RPG guy. So if you remember that he's on the roof there, maybe you can take him out a little bit earlier and you won't hopefully do too much damage. But again, just keep them in front of you as much as you can and then throw the stun grenades in order to get as many. You got to remember that you have to aim a little bit higher to throw the stun grenades, as he doesn't throw as far as you might think he would be able to throw. But it's just a matter of taking out these enemies as soon as you can. Try not to take too much damage. But having 5 bars of health is a lot of health for you to be able to lose, especially if you're going through it stealthily. You have to take this guy out, so as soon as you get to this point, throw that there, as most of the time he will land a shot, and obviously that could kill you in one go. Here, you pretty much don't have to do a darn thing. If you want to take them out via the Mark 22 or stun grenades, go ahead. But if you've got the Cold War camo on like we do, just face this way, and you shouldn't take any damage, really, as they will not be able to get any hits on you. This is just one of the easier sections that you can actually get through. Just constantly face them. I like to use the cinematic camera here just because it's really, really awesome. There's a bunch of little gameplay scenes, mixed up in here with the cinemas and all. I don't save. I haven't saved pretty much from the beginning of the Volgin fight to the second phase of the Shagohod fight. If you can do that, then that's great. Obviously try to limit the amount of saves, but we're probably going to be getting close to around 25. I don't know how many saves I've done, but I've always tried to be as thorough as possible, saving before a boss fight and right after a boss fight, because it can get very tedious when you have to go through the same things hundreds of times trying to learn how to specifically beat a boss or whatnot, because the strategies do take a little bit of time. But again, here, just continue to look forward, wait. We've got another cutscene, and then we'll get to some more gameplay. So here, go ahead and immediately get your RPG out, turn around so that the enemies don't shoot at you, wait for them to go ahead and die. You don't have to worry about them. Again, you cannot shoot any of these enemies with your RPG, obviously. This is a non-lethal playthrough, so to get that Foxhound, you have to make sure you cannot kill him. Once he gets a little closer, try to shoot as much as you can at his middle side. It can be a little tough, especially when you accidentally hit his treads. If you do accidentally hit his treads, most of the time he will stop like that and you won't be able to do a lot of damage. So we don't get a lot of damage on him here. This is a good opportunity for you to get better at the tactical reloading though. And it will take you again a while to do it. But if you can get better, then that's awesome. This is one of those games. This is Metal Gear Solid 2 where tactical reload is really, really important to get used to. But try to at least get him to stay as close to you as possible so you can do the max amount of damage. So we're doing a little bit. Whenever he says didn't kill a thing, wasting your ammo, that usually means you had a successful hit. You can see the Shagohod is going down.
I planted 4 C3 charges.
This is as simple as you can think of it. Just shoot 3 of the charges.
3 more bombs left.
And then there's going to be one more charge that's going to be dangling right there.
A little more to the left.
And for a little showboating, I'm going to do a no-scope here. So just make sure that you're aimed at the actual C3. When she says you can go, just hit the X or square button. Or excuse me, X or square button, depending on what system you're on. Alright, now we got the first stage of the Shagohod boss battle. Both these stages have the same tactics. You want to shoot the treads, then you want to shoot the back of the Shagohod. Now, you have invincibility frames on the Shagohod itself, so once you see the Shagohod is no longer dazed, that is when you can actually go and hit it, like right there. Again, rinse and repeat this process of shooting the threads and then shooting the back. As you can see, there's like a little dazed on the back of it. Once that sparks are over, that's when you know you can actually shoot it again. So again, get better at the tactical reloading. This is your opportunity to do so, and you can usually go this battle without taking any damage. Otherwise, you won't do any damage to the Shagohod itself if it's still sparking up. And unfortunately, I think I missed a shot there. There are a few attacks he does, which is that one right there that you just saw, as well as shooting rockets at you. The rockets can be bothersome because there's not a real good way to... You can shoot them out of the air if you have like a regular weapon, but I don't have any of those equipped because I haven't really been using regular weapons at all, like the AK-47 or anything like that. So my suggestion is to always go for the treads, shoot them a couple of times to make sure you get them, and then when you can get around the back side of the Shagohod, then you should be able to get a hit at him. Not a very, very difficult boss here in this first stage. Second stage is a little bit more difficult. That's why I haven't saved yet until I get to the second stage, because I know that that one is going to take me a little time to get to, because we don't have the Mosin Nagant, which is a weapon that will kill him very easily, just like three shots really. But since we have the Mark 22, it's going to take a little bit more than that. As you can see, he doesn't really do a lot of damage to you. Just keep shooting at him so he doesn't do the rockets, and you should be okay. Wait till the sparks go away, and then try to get as much damage on that as you can. Now remember, these are all my own strategies. These are things that I figured out just playing it for a little while. I mean, it does take some time, but once you get used to it, then you should have no problems with this, at least first section. Second one is going to definitely take you a little bit more time to figure out, because you got to get really, really good at shooting. So it took me 3 or 4 times before I could get into a rhythm of being able to shoot him with the Mark 22, because it is a little bit further away and is a lot harder to pull off those headshots than with the Mosin Nagant, where you can zoom in on him. Should do about one more shot, and then we should be able to have it, and then we'll move on to the second part of the battle. Immediately shoot and try to hit the treads as soon as you can. If you do so, then this battle will become a lot easier. And then, of course, try to shoot his head as much as you can. But once you have him stop, it's a rinse and repeat action of shooting the treads, waiting for him to stop, and then getting a shot at him. Sometimes the shots won't register if you're too low, so try to get as close to the head as you can in order to be able to do this. You know that you're good if he's looking over to the left or right, depending on which tread you actually shot. So he's already down halfway, as you can see. This shot, I don't think I even get one. Yeah, I don't get one there, unfortunately. It looked like I hit him, but I guess it was just a little off. If that happens, just make sure you keep trying to get those treads before he has the chance to move. I don't even try for headshots, as I would rather make sure that I get the shots in. Immediately, as soon as you shoot it, go for him. And you should be able to complete this. I just have, I think, I have 0 rockets left by the end of this, so try to be as quick as you can when it comes to as soon as you have the opportunity to take the treads out before he has a chance to really move, and don't miss too many shots. As you can see here, I'm already too late there, so I have to go ahead and get a little bit closer because I'm getting a little far away, and that makes it a lot tougher to get the headshot in and have it count. But other than that, as you can see, it wasn't too difficult to do. Just one more shot and he is down. Go for the treads again one last time. And as you can see, we've got 0 left, so this was a nice shot. Alright, so we've got some more motorbike chases here. You can take these guys out pretty easily just with your Mark 22, or of course using your stun grenades just like before in the previous times. I'd say the biggest worry you're going to have in these sections here are going to be the flying guys. Well, remember, if you're facing them with the camo, you don't even have to worry about them shooting at you. Now once you get around this corner, go ahead and get out your stun grenades. You might be able to take them all out in one go before they even get a chance to start chasing you. There they are! Which we were able to do. And as you can see, as your health goes all the way back up. So it just really depends on certain sections, your health will go right back up instead of staying with the same health that you had before. And again, one of the biggest problems that I have, one of the biggest fears that I have about this game in particular is the amount of health. Because there are a lot of times where you get scripted times where you'll get hit with something and your health will be completely down, and it's scripted. So try to take as little damage as you can on the boss fights, because you only have 5 full bars of health to be able to get the Foxhound rating. So just get through these sections. This first one, again, is not too difficult. Again, I'm also an idiot because I always look wherever I fire, so I take a little bit of shots here because I literally can't see the screen. But you're done with that section, and then we can go ahead and pretty much almost move on just a little bit here. And then we'll have the second section up, which is not as tough as those little parts right there. Especially with the Cold War camo. So here, of course, go ahead and get out your Mark 22. Make sure you're facing behind it. You've got the flying demons. Just do as good as you can. It's very hard to hit these guys, especially with my aim. I'm like Big Boss himself. I've only got one eye, so it actually kind of feels like real. Like Boss would have Big Boss would have a hard time, just like me, firing at these enemies. It's kind of surreal and unique when you have the same disability that the guy that you're playing in the video game does. But I've learned to live with it. So shoot them as many as you can. Again, you're facing them, so as long as you're facing them, they won't shoot back at you. You still could take a little bit of damage when you look at one side and then you got the guy on the other side, which is why I try to actually take them out. And of course, the trees get in the way sometimes. The only thing you have to worry about in this is going to be a log up ahead that you have to shoot, so as soon as she says it, turn around. Don't wait too long, because you need to prepare yourself for it. The other thing is they will keep coming, so maybe leave one of them alive, so that way the others don't just keep coming. Alright, now the log is there, we can go ahead and turn around and use our RPG. Try to aim a little higher than you think, and you should be able to take it out. And then I did a second just in case. And this is all that's left. These last 3 guys here, and then you're done with this whole chase sequence, which is just really crazy. Actually, it's not. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. There's still one more section. It just goes on and on and on. Here is actually pretty easy, though. You've got guys coming at you from the left and the right. You can get some good stun grenades in here and take them out pretty simple, or you can use your Mark 22 here. Always go for the drivers. It'll knock both of them out if you can. Simple enough. So then you'll have enemies on your left and your right. But if you're constantly moving back and forth, they should really do no damage to you whatsoever. And the last section we have in this video is going to be us escaping and escorting Eva throughout the rest of this section, which can be a little tough to do, but hopefully I'll be able to guide you through it. And we got another scripted part where you're going to take a lot of damage up ahead. But just make sure you don't heal yourself. And that's it for this section. There is like one enemy left, I think, but he's not really a big problem. He'll automatically just blow up.
Here comes the jump. Hold on tight. Shit. What do you think of that? Not bad, huh?
All I can say about this section is go ahead and go into your survival, go into your cure menu, of course, and help Eva out, not yourself. And it pretty much tells you what you need to do. Bleeding, no bandage replied, not yet disinfectant, so you're going to need the splint, disinfectant, septic, suture kit, and all that, and you should be able to do this. Next up, we will be going through the jungle with Eva. So first thing we're going to do is make sure you go back into your camouflage and go back to your tiger stripe here, and then have her follow you. In order to follow you, you need to hit the triangle or the Y button and just stay in a close proximity to her. Constantly move, don't stop, because the enemies are going to be coming through this area any second, and then once they do, they can kind of creep up on you, so keep moving forward and you shouldn't have any problems with actually her seeing you. Or them seeing you, should I say. So, keep going, and once you get to this point down here, you should automatically move over to the right, which is going to be the next section that you can actually get into. But what we want to do is make sure that we actually heal Eva a little bit as well. So just wait. And once we get over to here, go ahead and get up as close as you can to her. Go to the food, and you should have at least a few rations on you that you've picked up throughout. And give her a little bit of food.
Like
if you haven't given her any food, or you haven't picked up any food at all, then you need to find some snakes or something that's in the area, instant noodles, whatever, and use those to help her out. And for the final section here, go ahead and get your Mark 22 out, run up just a little bit, go ahead and get down. We're going to take out this first guy here, but you got to get down so that no one else can see you. So, take him out. Make sure she's still following you, then you're going to run up, and you're going to take these other two guys out, but just be careful with them, as sometimes if you accidentally miss the headshot, they'll turn around and see you immediately, so make sure you're not fully facing them, and you have a good clear shot. Especially with this guy up ahead here, as he can be very difficult sometimes, just because the angle might not be right. So get on the left side of the wall here, or this tree, and try to shoot him. Once that, he'll eventually go out, and then you just need to take out the rest of the guys. So keep moving up here, She should be able to follow you continually as well. Once you get up here at the lookout point, there's just a few guys you need to take out. One guy will be pretty much straight ahead that you can see. Another guy is going to be below you. And then there'll be one other guy to the left. Once you shoot this guy here, then the guy to the left will automatically come out after a few seconds. There's also two other guys that are hiding inside bushes, but you should never have to cross their paths the way that we go, so you won't have to take them out. Last but not least is this guy over here on the left. Once he is done, you are free to go. Continually move on. Stick to the left side when you drop down, and you should be able to complete this section. And we have one video left in the Metal Gear Solid 3 walkthrough, guys. Hopefully you've been enjoying. Thank you for all the support. It means a lot to me that you've been here to support throughout the videos. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, CenterStrain01, for all the latest updates and all that good stuff. We're going to be starting some live streaming up really soon, pretty much almost every single day. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. Lots of cool things coming up and some big news coming our way as well. Thank you guys for watching, and of course I will see you on the final video. Peace out. Ladies and gents, welcome to the final part of Metal Gear Solid 3 Foxhound Edition European Extreme walkthrough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the entire walkthrough. So let me explain this boss fight. Immediately get out your Mark 22. She's going to rush at you. Wait till you hear Snake grunt. Once he grunts, that is when you want to hold down the CQC button, whatever it is on your game. Then immediately, as soon as you get control again, shoot her in the head twice. Get behind her, then CQC her again. Then you want to get out your stun grenade and throw it up in the air. Immediately get back out your Mark 22 and repeat the process 3 times. And then keep doing it. You can only do 3 times because you only have 3 stun grenades. I know that's a lot to say in the very beginning. It is a little tricky to get it first, but it is a very easy way of being able to defeat the boss. You always want to wait until Snake grunts before you hold down the CQC button, as sometimes she does a little sidestep, and if she does that sidestep, then you need to make sure you haven't hit it yet, because if you do, you'll automatically lose the CQC battle. So once Snake grunts, that is when you immediately want to hold down the CQC button so that you can actually win the counter. And then using the stun grenades, and then at the end, you just mix this process over and over again of CQCing her, shooting her twice, and then getting behind her as quickly as you can. If you do not get behind her, you will not be able to CQC her again for the second time. So you just have to remember that. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and of course, I will see you more towards the end of the game.
Of course, I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.
Ladies and gents, that is it. Let's find out if we got the Foxhound rank. Remember, you have to go through the cutscene there at the end, but I skipped it for you guys, and we have done it. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Obviously, we saved a lot, but we meant to do that to give you guys as much chance as to accomplish this. I will admit, this is the first time I have ever achieved Foxhound ranking on Metal Gear Solid 3, and I'm so excited to be able to do it. We had 0 alert phases, 0 life bars of total damage, which is awesome, and we only captured 5 plants or animals, and that is to obviously give Eva some stamina towards there in the end and whatnot. So I had such a blast doing this, guys. Don't forget to leave a big like if you appreciated it. Let me know in the comments below if this helped you out in achieving the same Foxhound rank on European Extreme. I do plan on going over all of the other Metal Gear Solid games that I have not finished on the hardest difficulty and getting the big boss or Foxhound ranking, whatever one that it actually is, in the near future. So wow, I was so excited. I was so nervous because I thought I took a lot of damage, but I guess I didn't actually take that much. So this is what you'll normally get at the end. You always get a Patriot, Stealth, some face paint, Infinity face paint, flag face paints, the Tuxedo, and you'll get the DLC that you can pick up as well. You can't get the DLC anymore because it's not on a PS2, so it comes with it once you beat it. But there you go, ladies and gents. Obviously, you want to save here. Again, this took me quite a long time to put all of the cutscenes and everything together. Hopefully you enjoyed the walkthrough. I will now have one solid video of nothing but gameplay coming up for you guys. Just so for those of you that don't care about the cutscenes, you'll be able to just see exactly what gameplay-wise you need to do. I saved a lot, mostly always before a boss battle and right after a boss battle, as to make sure I could find, hopefully, the best way to complete it. But there you go, ladies and gents. It is complete. I'm so proud of the fact that I've been able to do this. I've wanted to do it for so long, and I'm so glad that I finally did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.